Hey, welcome back to my channel. My name is Casey. Today I'm going to be sharing with you swatches of the Essence Melted Chrome Eyeshadows. I'm going to be doing close-up shots of the product itself, as well as hand and eye swatches. Essence describes the melted chrome eyeshadows as being reminiscent of melted metal. They have an exciting bouncy texture with strong pigmentation. My overall impression and review on these shadows are that they're stunning. I have quite a few single eyeshadows ranging in price and brand from indie to drugstore to high-end, and these absolutely hold their own, both in the beautiful formula, the color payoff, and the finished look they have on the eyes. I find the formula to be very unique. It's quite bouncy and creamy, very similar to the ColourPop Super Shock eyeshadows. However, I feel these are slightly more wet to the touch, a little bit more glidey on the finger, which in my opinion makes them a lot easier to apply. And unlike the ColourPop Super Shock eyeshadows, in my experience, these also can be applied with a brush. If I had to say one con about these eyeshadows, I would say that if you are someone with mature eyelids or someone with textured or dry eyelids, you may not like the way these appear on your eyes. Because their formula is so thin and bouncy, it sort of melts right into your eyelids, which I think in the end could enhance any texture on the lids. I myself have very crinkly eyelids. They're also very prone to dryness and flakiness, so this is a concern of mine. However, with that being said, I still wear these. I don't have an issue with them. However, I'm also someone that if I see a beautiful eyeshadow, I'm gonna put it on my lids. I also can't speak to how well these will perform if you have oily eyelids. Again, because of their bouncy texture, there's a possibility of creasing throughout the day. However, on myself, I didn't have issues with creasing. I also found that these work fine when applied over a powder eyeshadow, such as when doing a halo eye. And of course, they work well as a standalone shadow. First, we have the shade Ironic. This is one of my two favorites. Ironic is a warm champagne with a metallic finish. I love using this one as a halo eye or on my inner corner. When used as a one and done shadow, this one definitely gives you that wet eye look. It has a little bit of sparkle, and with that metallic finish, it just reflects light so beautifully. This one is one of my favorites because of how versatile the shade is, but also because I feel that the finish on this one is so shiny. As you'll see as we get into the other shades, they're not all created equal. They all do have a metallic finish, but some of them are just a little bit shinier, a little bit more stunning than the others. Ironic being one of them. Next, we have the shade Golden Crown. This is a true gold. While it is more of a true gold, it's not like a bold metallic gold on the eyelid. You could maybe build it up to be that way, but I think the final look it creates is more of a golden wash of metallic glimmer than a bright pop of gold, if that makes sense. This one is quite stunning. I think especially if you have a richer skin tone, you would really enjoy this color. I find that the finish on this one falls right in the middle. It's not quite as high shine as my two favorites, but it's also not quite as dulled down as the other two I'm going to mention here shortly. It's right in the middle. Next, we have my second favorite. This is the shade Zinc About You. It is a cool tone pink. This is the first melted chrome eyeshadow I got, and immediately upon receiving it and swatching it, I hopped on the Essence website and ordered the other four. I was just so blown away by the performance, I had to have them all. This one unfortunately arrived to me broken. I'm not sure if you'll be able to tell looking at the other shades, but they're so very soft and bouncy. I feel like they're not very well pressed into the pan. Actually, I remember when I would look at these in Ulta, a lot of them were loose, like the pressed product itself had lifted off of the pan. So they are quite fragile. Zinc About You is another one of my favorites to use as a halo eye. Again, the finish on this one is just so shiny and so eye-catching. That high shine metallic finish really gives your eyes this beautiful, gleaming, polished look in the end. Again, when looking over all of my single shadows, these really hold their own. They're so beautiful. Next, we have the shade Warm Bronze. This one, I feel the name is a little bit misleading because it swatches a little bit lighter than it appears in the pan. In the pan, it appears to be a rich milk chocolate metallic shadow, which if you follow me, you may remember my love for milk chocolate brown eyeshadows. So I was so excited to have this shade in this formula. However, it actually swatches a little bit lighter than it appears in the pan. It is bronze, but it also has a very subtle pinky cool undertone, which is why I think the name Warm Bronze is a little bit deceiving. When I think of a warm bronze colored eyeshadow, I think of something rich and sultry and a little bit smoky. I do think this would create a little bit deeper of an eye look, but it's still gonna be very subdued. Charlotte Tilbury comes to mind, you know, just that very chic, glossy, effortless look. It is still a very beautiful shadow. If you're attracted to that look and you like this color, I would say you would not be disappointed, especially because this formula is so very easy to use. These all make for great one and done shadows. Lastly, we have the shade Copper Me. It is a true copper. It's very fiery, very burnt orange-like. The finish of this one is very similar to Warm Bronze in that it's not quite as shiny and lustrous as the other shades. It still has that metallic finish, but it's not quite as bright and eye-catching as the others. With that being said, this one is still unique in my collection because it is so bright. It's not quite orange, it's not quite red. Like I said, it's a true copper, and it does still have a bold, beautiful metallic finish. When doing the eye swatches for this one, I decided to use my finger as normal for my right eye, and I used a brush on my left eye. Like I said, I personally prefer to use my finger, but I wanted to show you that these work well with a brush also. Lastly, I decided to do eye swatches with one of my favorite shades, Ironic. On my right eye, I applied it just as I did before with my finger, and on my left eye, I applied it wet. I actually just dipped my finger in a little bit of water and then patted it into the shadow and applied it to my eye. And as you can see, the finish is even shinier, even more metallic, even more eye-catching when applied wet. Ugh, these shadows are so pretty, especially as a drugstore eyeshadow. That was all 5 of the Essence Melted Chrome eyeshadows I have to share with you. If you do happen to have any of these shades yourself, I hope this was inspiration for you to pull them out and play with them. At the very least, I hope you enjoyed seeing some beautiful eye swatches. I want to thank you so much for your time today. Thank you for hanging out with me. I hope you hit that subscribe button and come back next time. And until next time, I hope you have the most wonderful day.